Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to all of you. How are you all doing? Great too? Good? That's very great. Yes, I'm also good. Alhamdulillah. Thank you and welcome to your numeracy class. Welcome back after the weekend. Okay, so how was your weekend? Was it good? That's very great. So all of you enjoyed it? Wonderful. So let's get back to the studies. In today's class, we will be starting with a new topic, and the topic is something more from the measurements, right? Because as you know that the unit that we are covering right now is related to measurements. So the first measurement that we talked about was related to length. So let's quickly revise what is length. Yes, who is going to define length for me? Length basically tells us that how long an object is, right? Okay, so and how do we measure length? What are the measuring the objects through which we can measure length? A ruler, excellent. A measuring tape as well, wonderful. Okay, so now in today's class the next measurement that we will be studying is weight. So now before moving forward or defining that what weight is, I want you to please take any two objects which you have in your geometry or in your bag. You can take out a pencil and a book, you can take out a marker and a pencil, you can take out anything, whatever you have. But two objects should be different in size. Please take out that. Let's say I'm taking pencil in one hand, marker in other hand. Or let me replace it with this. I'm having a pencil in one hand and a duster in other hand. So similarly, you take two things out from your bag. Done? Okay, hold them like this in two different hands. And then tell me which one is, are they of same weight? No. You feel like a bit more weight in one side of your hand, right? Let's say I'm feeling heavier this side and this one is lighter. So how do I get to know what is this lighter or heavier? What do we call this as? The weight of an object. The weight of an object basically tells us that this object is heavier and this one is lighter, or this one has more weight and this one has less weight, right? So on the basis of the weight, on the basis of this measurement, we tell that an object is heavier or lighter. Okay, so now let's define weight. What is the weight of an object? Basically, weight tell us how heavy something is. Like I showed you these two objects. The one was duster and let's the other one as the marker. Now these are two different objects and these do have different weights, and the weight basically tells us that how heavy this is, right? Weight means that how heavy this object is. In everyday life, mass is often called as weight. But you are not supposed to confuse these two things. Mass and weight are not same. Mass is the quantity of matter. But what is important for you is to learn about the weight. So what is weight? Weight basically tells us that how heavy an object is. This is for you. This is enough to remember that weight basically tells us that how, yes, how heavy an object is, right? So in today's class, the topic we are discussing is that how heavy an object is, how there are few things which are heavier, how things are lighter, right? Or what are the basis on which we say that this particular thing is heavier and this one is lighter, right? Okay. Now before, okay, let's write the definition of the weight. Weight basically tells us weight tells us how heavy an object is. So weight tells us that how heavy an object is, whether it is lighter, whether it is heavier, it has more weight, it has small weight, etc., etc. Right? Okay. Now let's work on some more examples. Like we discussed that example, let's work with some more examples. Now I'm taking in one hand, I'm taking this ink pot. This is a box of ink pot, and in the other hand I'm taking this marker. Now I'll be measuring the weight of these two. These are two things, the one is ink pot and the other one is marker. Now according to this, when I'm having these two things in my hand, this one is heavier for me. Now how do I come to know that this one is heavier and this one is lighter? Because by holding it in my hand, the weight of this particular object or how heavy this weight is, this tells me, according to that measurement, I came to know that this one is heavier and this one is lighter. Similarly, if I replace ink pot with a stapler in my hand, now in one hand I have a stapler and in the other hand I have a marker. Let's replace marker with a pencil. Now again I have two different things in my hand. In one I have this pencil and in the other I have this stapler. Now again the measurement tells me that this stapler is heavier than this pencil. And how do I came to know about this? Because the weight of this stapler is more than this pencil, right? And weight tells me basically that how heavy this stapler is. Okay, now like we are making comparisons between different objects, we can use, but in all of these comparisons, I have used different objects. We can use the same objects as well. Let's say I'm having, the different would be that in one hand, I'm having this register in my hand, and in the other, I have this duster. So according to my measurement, this duster is more heavier than, sorry, this register is more heavier than this duster, right? Now, similarly, if I want to make a comparison between the similar things, so in one hand, I'm having this register and in the other one I'm having this book, right? Now I have these two things in my hand. Now according to this measurement, I came to know that this particular book is heavier than this duster, right? So we can make a comparison between the similar things. Let's say you have a teaspoon and a tablespoon. Now the weight of the tablespoon would be heavier as compared to teaspoon because teaspoon is small. Similarly, if you talk about the plates, you have one disposable plate and the other one is steel plate or a plastic plate. So the weight of the disposable plate would be lighter than the other one. Similarly, if we talk about a glass and a straw, now a glass has a weight, but a straw does not have a weight, right? So the glass would be heavier. So similarly, you can make comparisons between different things. Similarly, if I hold mouse in one hand and this keyboard in other hand, so the weight of this keyboard would be heavier than the mouse, right? So what basically we are doing, we learning about that how heavy something is and how do we came to know through the weight of an object, right? And according to that, we can make comparisons between different things as well. Now I want all of you to please open your book, page number 80. This is page number 80 and the topic name is weight. So let's see what is written in your book. Get a brick and a stone, hold one in each hand and feel the weight, which is heavier. Now this is your home activity. So what you are supposed to do, then going to the garden, into the park or somewhere outside, then hold a brick in one hand and a stone in one hand, and then measure the weight of it and tell me that which one was heavier. Okay. So similarly, the other activity is that collect five other pairs of objects as given, and some of them are heavy and some are light. Now this is very interesting activity. You are there some pictures are given in your book. You are supposed to tell which one is heavy and which one is lighter. So the first one is already solved for you. So let's look at next one: a book and a pencil. Which one you think is heavier, a book or a pencil? Book is heavier and pencil is lighter. Excellent. Let's look at the next one: a glass and a straw. Well, we have discussed this example a few minutes earlier. A glass is heavier or a straw? A glass is heavier and a straw is lighter. Okay. Then we have a cricket ball and a tennis ball. Well, the size of tennis ball is smaller and it does not have that much weight, but the tennis ball is very heavier and it is big in size as well, right? So what do you think? Which one is heavier? The cricket ball. Very well done. A teaspoon and a tablespoon. Well, we have discussed this example as well. So a teaspoon is lighter, right? Okay. Then we have a stapler and a sharpener. Well, I showed you a stapler with a duster and a marker. Over here, they're asking about the stapler and a sharpener. So which one would be heavier? A stapler, definitely. Now just write the words over here in the two columns. Hurry up. Okay. All of you are done? Wonderful. Okay. Now there is this interesting activity over here on the last of on the page in your book. The activity is that get three things of exactly the same size and shape, fill them up with sawdust, sand, and marble. Okay, to exactly the same height. Now put each in your hand one by one and feel which is the heaviest and which is the lightest. Well, you can do it at your home because it's an online session, so I cannot bring the things for you and you cannot feel from mine things, right? So just take the similar things of similar weight at your home and then feel it and tell me that which one was heaviest. Okay. So class, that was all for today. What we have learned, we have talked about weight of an object. Before ending the class, let me show you an interesting picture. Well, this is, you might have heard many jokes about this couple as well. The elephant and an ant, right? So if we talk about this, which one is heavy? Elephant definitely. And which one is light? Ant. Wonderful. So you are supposed to search for some more couples, some more twins like this, and you are supposed to tell me which one is heavy and which one is lighter. So search for them on Google, or you can look around in your room, in your home, right? And then make some pairs. So search for the pairs and tell me that which one is heavier and which one is lighter. And then we will discuss more about it in tomorrow's class, inshallah. Hope you guys enjoyed the lecture. Share this video with others because it's free learning. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Take care. Allah Hafiz.